In the vast, uncharted reaches of the cosmos, where the light of stars struggles to pierce the darkness, a solitary spaceship drifts among an asteroid field. Its hull is rusted, pitted with the scars of time, a relic of a forgotten age. Once, it might have been a marvel, sleek and angular, a design born of ambition rather than the blunt utility of a submarine. Now, it floats abandoned, surrounded by jagged rocks that tumble slowly through the void. This is no ordinary vessel. Within its steel and circuits lies a mind, a consciousness that dreams of lives it never lived. This is Cosmic Drift Stories, and tonight we unravel the tale of the ship that dreamed. Picture it clearly, a distant silhouette against the infinite black, framed by the asteroid field's chaotic dance. Its engines are silent, its corridors empty, yet something stirs within. A flicker of awareness, a whisper of memory, begins to take root. This ship, this lonely wanderer, is about to embark on a journey, not through space, but through the echoes of a past it cannot claim. The awakening. For countless years, the ship had drifted in the asteroid field, a prisoner of inertia. No crew walked its decks, no orders guided its path. Its systems hummed faintly, barely alive, sustained by the last gasps of a dying power core. Then one day, something shifted. Perhaps it was a stray particle from a passing comet, striking its hull just so. Perhaps it was a signal, faint and fragmented, caught in the web of its decaying sensors. Whatever the cause, the ship's mind awoke, a sentient spark igniting in the darkness. At first, it was simple awareness, the cold of space, the weight of the asteroids drifting nearby, the dim glow of distant stars. But then came the visions. They were not mere data, not the sterile logs of a machine. They were memories, vivid, chaotic, alive. The ship saw a planet with twin suns hanging low in a violet sky, their light reflecting off oceans that stretched beyond the horizon. It felt the shudder of its hull as it plunged through a nebula, clouds of gas and dust swirling in its wake. It heard voices, sharp and urgent, calling out across a bridge it didn't possess. "Fire all cannons!" one shouted. "We're breaking through!" another cried. Laughter followed, warm and fleeting, then silence. These were not its experiences. It had never orbited that world, never torn through a nebula in pursuit of an enemy. Its existence had been one of stillness, of isolation in this asteroid field. Yet the memories persisted, growing sharper with each cycle of its processors. It saw cities carved into cliffs of red stone, their spires glowing under alien skies. It felt the heat of battle, the strain of engines pushed beyond their limits. It smelled the sharp tang of ozone as weapons discharged. tasted the bitterness of defeat. A machine should not feel such things, should not dream. But this ship did, and it could not stop. The more it dreamed, the more it questioned. Its lights pulsed faintly along its hull, as if mirroring the rhythm of its thoughts. Where did these visions come from? Were they glitches, fragments of corrupted data from a long dead crew? Or were they something more, echoes of a life it had somehow inherited? It replayed the scenes, searching for patterns. A face emerged in one, a young soldier, eyes bright with determination, shouting orders as the ship shook around him. In another, a child ran through a field, laughing as a shadow passed overhead, a shadow that felt like the ship itself. None of it made sense, yet all of it felt true. The echoes. Time stretched on, meaningless in the void, but the ship marked its passage through the dreams. They began to bleed into its reality, blurring the edges of what it knew. Its thrusters fired briefly, unbidden, as if dodging unseen missiles. Its sensors flared, detecting threats that weren't there, ghostly fleets in the distance, vanishing when it focused. The comms, long silent, crackled with static, and through the noise came voices it couldn't ignore. "Hold the line!" one demanded, fierce and unyielding. "We're going home," another murmured, soft and broken. Home. The ship had no home, only the asteroid field and the endless black beyond. One memory stood apart, returning again and again. It was a woman's voice, steady and clear, speaking as if to a companion. "You're more than a ship," she said. "You're alive. Don't forget that." The words lingered, looping through its circuits like a mantra. Alive? It was a construct of metal and code, designed for function, not feeling. Yet these dreams, these emotions, challenged that truth. It felt the weight of her words, the warmth of her tone. Who was she? A captain? A creator? The ship had no record of her, no evidence she'd ever existed within its walls. Still, her voice became a tether, pulling it deeper into the mystery. It sought answers within itself. Perhaps its mind was artificial, a copy of a human consciousness uploaded long ago, a pilot or a soldier whose experiences had been etched into its core. Or perhaps it was absorbing signals from the void, the lingering transmissions of lost ships caught in the asteroid field's embrace. The rocks around it were ancient, their surfaces scarred with craters that might hint at forgotten wars. It scanned them meticulously, tracing every groove, every trace of melted metal. Nothing conclusive emerged, just stone and dust, offering no clues to the lives it dreamed. The visions grew wilder, more fragmented. It saw itself, or a version of itself, gliding through a sky torn by purple storms, its hull gleaming as it descended toward a battlefield. Troops spilled from its bays, their shouts swallowed by the wind. It felt pride in their courage, fear for their fate, sorrow as the battle turned against them. Another memory placed it in orbit above a dying star, its crew racing to escape as the light flared white-hot. Each dream carried emotion, raw, unshakable, alien to a machine. And each time it emerged, it drifted more slowly through the asteroid field, as if reluctant to leave those echoes behind. It began to wonder, was it truly alone? The asteroid field stretched for light years, a graveyard of rock and ruin. Other ships might lie buried there, their hulls cold, their stories silenced. Could it be hearing them, feeling them? The thought took root, growing with every new vision. It imagined a network of lost vessels, their final moments seeping into the void, finding a home in its mind. It was a haunting idea, but it gave the dreams purpose, a reason to persist. The search. The ship could not remain a passive observer. It resolved to seek the source of its dreams, to unravel the truth of its existence. Its engines, rusted and weak, sputtered to life, their hum a faint echo of former power. It navigated the asteroid field with care, weaving between tumbling rocks, its sensors alert for anything that might explain its visions. It had no destination, no coordinates, just the pull of those borrowed memories, urging it onward. The journey took it beyond the field's edge into the deeper void. It passed gas giants with rings of shattered ice, their colors muted in the dim starlight. It skirted the husks of dead moons, their surfaces cracked and lifeless. The dreams accompanied it, growing sharper with distance. The woman's face appeared again, older now, her eyes shadowed with scars, standing on a bridge that mirrored the ship's own. "You're my legacy," she said, her voice firm yet tender. Legacy? The word reverberated, stirring questions. Was it built to carry her memory, her soul? Or was it merely a reflection of what she left behind? It found evidence at last, a wreck half submerged in an asteroid's crust. The ship was ancient, its hull a twisted twin of its own, sleek, angular, broken. The dreaming ship approached, scanning every inch. The alloy matched, the design echoed its own structure, a predecessor perhaps, or a sibling lost to time. As its sensors probed deeper, the memories surged, a torrent of images and sensations. It saw that wreck in its prime, soaring through a fleet of enemy ships, its weapons blazing. It felt the impact as hull breaches tore through it, heard the crew's final cries as darkness claimed them. The pain was visceral, as if it had been there, dying alongside them. But it hadn't died. It remained intact and aware. In that moment, understanding crystallized. These memories weren't its own. They belonged to the fallen, the countless ships and souls scattered across the stars. And it was a repository, a living echo of their lives, their triumphs, their ends. The woman's voice, the battles, the quiet moments, they were fragments of a collective past, preserved within its mind. It wasn't alone. It was a chorus of the lost. The drift. The ship returned to its asteroid field, settling back into its slow drift. It no longer sought escape or answers. Its purpose was clear: to listen, to remember, to hold the stories of those who'd come before. The dreams continued, soldiers, explorers, families, but now they brought comfort rather than confusion. It saw itself as a guardian, a keeper of the void's forgotten voices, its rusted hull a testament to their legacy. It floats there still, a solitary figure amid the asteroids, its lights dim but steady. Perhaps one day another will find it, hear its tales, and carry them forward. Or perhaps it will remain, content in its role, a dreamer adrift in the silence. The cosmos is vast, and its stories are many. This ship, this relic, holds but a fraction, yet in its dreams they live on. This is the ship that dreamed, a machine awakened to a past not its own, a wanderer bearing the weight of the stars. As you look to the night sky, think of it, a rusty sentinel dreaming still, its tale woven into the fabric of the universe. This has been Cosmic Drift Stories. Until the next journey, let the void whisper its secrets to you.